Hi, my name is Alios and welcome to Design Show. In this episode, I just want to talk about design for visually impaired people and why it's important. And before actually I get into the main part, I just want to give you some statistics and facts about the whole idea. Approximately 39 million of people are blind and 4.5% of the global population are colorblind. And we have three main types of color blindness: green, red, and blue, which green is the most common one. And surprisingly, it's a male problem. About 8 to 10% of the male population is colorblind versus 0.5% of the female population is colorblind. So I think the Wachowski brothers, sisters, shouldn't be worried. Not anymore, I guess. To give you some information about low vision people, about 4% of the population have low vision. And low vision conditions increase with age, and half of people over the age of 50 have some degree of low vision condition. So besides design good for visually impaired people, you need to have elderly people in your mind, because designing poorly for them could lead their situations into disaster. In fact, Kathy O'Connor from Smashing Magazine estimated that for every 2 million online customers, around 200,000 would benefit from designs that are easier to see. So at this point, you understand the whole idea and benefits of designing accessible and great for visually impaired people. And the thing is, you can't just remove them from internet like the way media did to Donald Trump back in 2020. You just can't. So in this part, I just want to talk about some tools for history that helped people with visual impairments. So let's get into it. The first tool is famous 1824 Braille alphabet, and the next one 1892 Frank Hall Braille typewriter, and 1921 James Biggs White cane, and last one Kurzweil rigging machine. But there is one gadget that really caught my eyes, metaphorically, and it's Orca My Eye.
My mom. That's so cool!
Orca My Eye is wearable, wireless kind of gadget that is available in more than 20 languages. I think this idea and product is revolutionary because it fills the gap between visually impaired people and their lives, which is great.
Leo Messi.
This part is the most important part of the show, and it's about the web. But the first question is, what are the most popular type of assistive technology for using the internet? From gov.uk perspective, these are the results. But we can't think and talk about design for visually impaired people and not mention Apple. In 2005 macOS Tiger, they added a screen reader and a screen magnifier to the Mac.
Press Universal Access button.
Interesting.
Tap for voiceover.
Interesting. Now that's cool, that's fine. I can work with that. But yeah, there's all these different options where you can basically have the zoom in area, only move once you're on the edge, which I'm not the biggest fan of.
Which was a primary step in order to have accessibility for visually impaired people. And in 2009, Apple released iPhone 3GS with a screen reader.
Hello, I'm iPhone 3GS. Hello, I'm iPhone 3GS. It sure is great to get out of that bag. Apple, Google, Twitter, Facebook, Amiga comparison, HTTP. Visited links, images, Zoom.
And also 2011, the famous Siri and the famous ad.
Now, how's the traffic headed downtown?
Here's the traffic.
Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. Driver, cut across. We'll never make it downtown this way. I like you, Siri. You're going places.
To tell you some tools in web that help you to design better for visually impaired people, the first one is Colorblindly. Colorblindly is Google extension and helps you to see the web pages from colorblind person's perspective. And this extension developed by Andrew Venice, bless his heart. The next one is WebAIM website, which is contrast checker. And the last one is accessibility tool for designers and developers.
For example, an epileptic user who wishes to browse a website safely without the risk of seizures can choose the seizure-safe profile. Immediately, all colors are dulled and flashing or even moving elements are paused. An option for visually impaired users with degrading eyesight, for example, is to click on the visually impaired profile and then everything will be zoomed in by 100% while making all the colors more contrasted and saturated. Any further adjustments to the site can be made by choosing the singular features in the rest of the interface, either with the profiles or without.
And right now I'm going to show you how people with low vision actually see the web pages. This is the Tumblr homepage from normal vision. And the same web page from blocked vision. And the other type of blocked vision. And Tumblr homepage from blurred vision. The next example I want to show you is from Apple Weather app and how low vision people see them. The one good point about this app is no matter you're low vision or not, you still can identify the actual weather. And it's actually a great point for Apple Weather app. So let's jump into some tips to designing better for visually impaired people. The first tip is you can't trust colors. As you see, there is an input box with red lines around it, and that tells people that something is wrong. But there is one problem, and the problem is the colorblind person can see the red line. And the point is, color is not the best way to convey information. But what you do this. As you see the example, the designer actually designed the boxes with color and signs, which is great. And in the next example, the designer actually put 3 things for each box: color, sign, and text. And these are 3 great identifiers to convey information. The next tip is for developers, and it's providing text alternatives for screen readers. As you see, the left one is actually poor designed, and it says picture of a guy. But the right one actually says a lot about the picture. The next example is seat selection. The seat selection uses color-coded dots to show the price per seat. And the problem is, this is how colorblind person sees the seats. And designers actually solve this problem as well, filtering based on price. They did a great job, but one tiny problem is the prices on top look unclickable. I think they could have done better. The next example is from Spotify, and you're all familiar with shuffle and repeat buttons. But this is how colorblind person sees the actual buttons. As you see, the colorblind person can say if repeat and shuffle button are clicked, but the Spotify designers did a great job as well. They added the symbol dot. And the point is, a small dot can change everything. At the end of this part, I've got 2 main questions. First one is, are glass morphism and no morphism accessible for visually impaired people? And the second question is, are video games nowadays accessible for visually impaired people?
So he's really farmed himself.
Yep, interesting choice. Obviously goes for something different. Oh, okay.
Double damage again.
This is obviously really useful even from the beginning of the game for stuff like generators, but this really becomes handy.
If you want to discuss, comment down below. To wrap things up, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video, because the more you do it, the more designers and developers would actually watch this video, and they would provide accessibility for visually impaired people, and it's beneficial for everybody, especially for these guys.
We're unstoppable.
We shoot for the stars.
And we can achieve anything we set our minds to.
We're entrepreneurs,
We are community leaders.
athletes,
Artists.
Organic farmers.
We are mothers
And daughters.
Unstoppable.
unstoppable.
And yet, people with disabilities probably can't use your website.
To buy your shoes.
Order your food.
Apply for your job.
To use your thing inside.
Like everybody else.
For millions of Americans.
America.
Like me.
Like
Me. Me.
Like me.
The internet is inaccessible.
Hey, if your business has a website, make it accessible.
Unlock web accessibility with Accessiby. It's simple and affordable.
And don't just do it to be compliant.
Do it 'cause it's the right thing to do.
Web accessibility is Accessiby. Start your free trial today.